Hello and welcome everybody to the 2022 Open Door Legal Gala. My name is Laura Turner and I am the Director of Development and Communications here at Open Door Legal, or as we like to say for short, ODL.
And I'm Whitney too, the Director of Talent and Culture. We have such a remarkable evening planned for you tonight. And perhaps best of all, we promise to be done in under an hour. This is our third virtual gala, and so we are so grateful for all of you who've joined us and supported the work of our teams over the past 9 years.
Yeah, and COVID has made the world so unpredictable over these last few years, and we weren't sure what it would be like to turn our live in-person galas into a virtual streaming event. But the last 2 years, we have had record-breaking attendance and giving. And we are so thankful for the ways that we've been able to highlight the voices and stories of our clients.
Tonight, we plan to do the same. We will show 3 videos, each one telling the story of a different client family and how their lives were changed through their interaction with us here at ODL. You'll hear the stories of Nadella and her daughter Sarah, Olivia and her son Malik, and Veronica and her sister and nieces.
In the last month alone, our staff has opened more cases than in any month since the start of the pandemic. The need for legal care is truly overwhelming, and there isn't a more passionate, dedicated group of legal professionals anywhere else. Our goal tonight is to raise $250,000, or enough to keep about 125 families safe from harm.
Throughout the night, you'll be getting texts with opportunities to donate and to bid on auction items. You should have gotten a text just now. Go ahead, check your phone. If you didn't get a text, you might still need to register. To do that, go to opendoorlegal.org/gala. Keep in mind that most folks at home will donate tonight via the link that we text you, but we know that a few of you are planning on making pledges to fulfill at a future date. If you want to make a pledge tonight that you can fulfill later on via check or DAP, text ODL, your name, and the amount to 415-612-3306.
And if you're lucky, you'll get a text back. Now we want to thank all of our sponsors. These are organizations that have been with us mostly for several years, if not many more than that. They're faith-based groups, corporations, and law firms that have supported us for a long time as we work to ensure that the law belongs to all of us.
The majority of our sponsors have been part of this event several years in a row, and it is such a gift to us to know that we have their support. At the friend level, we have Wolford Wayne, Olivier and Schreiber, the Corning Incorporated Foundation, and Crowell and Mooring.
Our neighborhood sponsors are Dropbox, Epic Church, Dayspring Partners, Rennie Public Law Group, Kirkland and Ellis, and Wilson, Sonsini, Goodrich, and Rosati.
At the community level, we have Good Paper, Chartsis Fries, and Davis Polk and Wardwell. And at the protector level, we have Covington and Burling.
And this year's values sponsor is AppLovin. This organization has really stepped up in a huge way in 2022 to support access to the law, and we could not be more grateful. Plus, their name reminds me of McLovin from Superbad, pretty much my favorite film character of all time.
If you take a look at your screen, you'll see a bar along the bottom with a bunch of numbers. This bar will track our progress tonight, and we're already starting at $13,675. This is the total we've been able to raise between our online auction and our pre-gala fundraising campaign. Well, thank you so much to the folks who've already given and bidded. Either way, thank you. And remember, if you want to take a look at the auction, you can use the bar on the left side of your screen to bid or to donate.
So our theme for tonight is safe families. Safety is something that I know I often take for granted, but I'm constantly reminded when I encounter our client stories that it isn't guaranteed for anyone. So one of the things that we do is work hard to make sure that our offices are spaces that are safe for our clients when they walk through our doors.
Yeah, so welcome to our office. You can see behind us our brand new beautiful signage in front of our Excelsior office, and we have worked to make our offices feel welcoming and cozy. We even have toys and coloring books for kids who accompany their parents to the office.
Yeah. I remember when I first started at ODL, I was pretty nervous walking through those doors, like those first day of school jitters. But something about the next few days and the people that I worked with made me feel safe. And it's something that I think our team does really well. So, since our theme for tonight is safe families, I was also put in mind of a day when I was working out of our Bayview office and a client came in for an intake with their 3 young kids. Now, I know how hard it is to get out of the house with 1 kid, let alone 3. And so I was watching in awe while Emmy, our amazing Bayview frontline partner, walked each kid to use the restroom. She played with them, she gave them snacks, and very patiently was a safe presence for them while their parent was in the office. A lot of the families who come to ODL find us when they're in places that are a little bit scary or uncertain. They might feel unsafe. And in that moment, watching Emmy with those kids, it reminded me how grateful that I am to be part of a team putting together a safe place for those who are in our offices. Whitney, when you think about safety and family, what comes to your mind?
Thanks for asking, Laura. Before my daughter Felix was born, I felt a lot of anxiety about what kind of world she would grow up in, and there were a lot of things I wanted to preemptively protect her from. But when she was born, I really just wanted her to feel safe with us. I really enjoy the moments where I see this happening. Like she'll run and jump in my arms if she saw an unexpected spider, or she'll lay her head on my shoulder when I'm holding her, or she has to move every single part of her body if she's dancing along to music. And I just love it because the safety allows her to be fully herself. And what is safety if not being fully yourself and fully accepted? How about you, Laura?
I love that. So recently, I got to take our son Chance to Yosemite, one of my favorite places. And we woke up really early one morning at 5:15 to watch the sunrise over Half Dome. So we drove to this lookout point, and it was really cold. And Chance got all wrapped up in a blanket when we went outside, and then we put a jacket around us, and he had his stuffed eagle in his lap. We watched the sun come up, and it was so beautiful. And as we were running back to the car, seeing him in his blanket with his eagle, just feeling so at home and safe in the world, really struck me and made me think about how safe he must feel to be out and about in his vulnerable little jammies. I loved seeing that, and it also put me in mind of all the things that we need as prerequisites for safety, like money to pay for gas and a hotel, a car that works to get where we need to go, and a safe place to go home to.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. You're such a great storyteller, and I just really appreciate how you've allowed our team to really do that well and empowered us to do that well and to still tell our own stories as well as the stories of our clients. And I'm so excited I get to do that with you tonight. But we should talk about what our work is a little bit. We provide free legal support to individuals and families in San Francisco. On average, a case at ODL costs us around $2,000 at no cost to our clients from start to end. And this includes legal advice, research, and any court time. For just $2,000, our clients can stay in their homes. They can get their record cleared. They can gain the immigration status that they need to stay in the country. For the city to support one unhoused person in a shelter per year, it costs 15 times more than that. And so this is extremely cost effective.
Yeah, it really is. And so knowing that our average case costs us around $2,000, we're really fortunate tonight to have a generous donor who is going to match all gifts of $2,000 and above. So each time you give to keep one family safe, your money will be doubled, and you'll be helping not just one, but 2 families stay safe this year. We'll share a little more about that soon, but in the meantime, you can track our donations tonight throughout the totalizer that you'll see behind us or on our progress bar, which you'll see on the bottom of the screen. Whenever you give, that amount will be added to our total amount raised for the evening.
Thank you all so much for giving already. Gold stars to all of you. But we really should hear from the real stars of our show, our incredible and resilient clients. In our first video, Olivia shares her and her son Malik's story. We will let her tell it in her own words, but we do want to let folks know ahead of the video that there are some instances of domestic and gun violence discussed. though not shown in the next video. If hearing these types of instances would be hard for you, feel free to step away and rejoin us in 8 minutes and at the end of the video.
My name's Olivia Lopez. I've been born and raised in San Francisco back in 1973. I've lived in Hunters Point for 9 years. I've moved around a lot, different cities, but I always come back home. I have 3 birth children and 1 foster child. 3 of them are adult, and then I have the youngest one, which is 8. It's Malik. He is also the reason why I came to Open Door Legal as well.
My name is Patricia Moon, and I was one of Olivia's lawyers in family court. When Olivia first came to Open Door Legal, she met with our team and was looking for help for herself and for her young son, Malik. Malik's father, Michael, had filed for visitation for their son, but Olivia had spent years on the receiving end of abuse from Michael. In Olivia's case, Malik's father had already been found by both criminal and family court to have abused her. It's not uncommon for us to see family court issue restraining orders, but it's not frequent for clients to have permanent criminal protective orders issued on their behalf. But Michael's violence and abusive behavior of Olivia was of such a serious nature that both courts issued multi-year permanent restraining orders against him on her behalf. However, these restraining orders did not protect Malik, as Michael had not abused Malik. Now, I don't think anyone expects to be in an abusive relationship. Olivia certainly did not. When she talks about her relationship with Michael, she shared about how they started dating back in 2008 and how they just clicked. She thought she was in a normal and happy relationship, but things took a turn for the worse.
I think there was one time I had to go out of town and I didn't answer my phone because I had really no reception where I was at. And so he thought I was cheating on him, and I'm like, okay. And so that's when things started getting bad. That January of 2018, that was one of the other major incidents that happened, to where he came downstairs. He hit me with the butt of the gun. He kept trying to grab my face and hitting it on the floor. That's why I don't like that hallway. I don't like that hallway. And then there was another time after that. It's covered. I think this chair, this leg is on top of it, but he shot at me with the gun.
What was he like when he wasn't?
Sweet. Oh, excuse me. He was really sweet, really nice, caring. And I'm just like, wow, I mean, you're just like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like, this is crazy. Like, you know, you could be the loving person, sweet person, romantic person, and then boom, you get drunk or you get high. It's just like, whoa, monster comes out.
How did he treat Malik?
At first it was really good. You know, he was really on him. He taught him how to walk, taught him how to use the bathroom. So I let him have that opportunity to teach his son what he wanted to teach him. He taught him his words, his numbers, and that's when he would kind of get a little rough with him. Like, you know, the baby would get tired. Like, okay, Daddy, you know, how many times you're gonna go over this with me? You know what I'm saying? I'm tired. He was only 3 or 4 at the time. And he was like, quit playing with me like I'm stupid or something. I know you know this, you know, but I always try to put the attention on me away from him. When I know that, you know, Malik was about to get yelled at or something, I'll try to intervene. And I'm like, he gonna grow up to hate you. But you mark my words. It took me about a day before I found you guys. And so I went on ahead and went down there, and that's when I met Kevin. And I met a few other people that were there, and we talked, and we're like, okay, we can take your case. We can do this.
When Olivia came to Open Door Legal, she told us that she wanted to protect her son, Malik. From hearing Olivia talk about Michael, it was clear she was afraid of the violence he was capable of. This was somebody who on multiple occasions had strangled her, hit her with a gun, threatened to kill her, and beat her so badly that she lost consciousness. In the most recent incident, he punched her repeatedly, pointed a 9mm at her face, and strangled her. Malik witnessed some of these incidents. He was only 5 when he saw his dad pointing a gun at his mom, threatening to kill her. So, naturally, Olivia was worried about their son resuming contact with his dad. At that point, family court had ordered that Malik have supervised visits with his dad at a place called Rally. She had no idea what Rally was or how they would ensure Malik's safety. She didn't understand how to advocate for her son in this court, and she didn't understand whether or not the judge had really considered how violent Michael had been towards her. At the next hearing in February of 2020, the judge reiterated the visitation order, and Olivia committed herself to getting the Rally visits going once she understood the safety precautions in place. But the judge had ordered her to pay a portion of the cost for visits, which was $40 a month. She was living on less than $600 a month, so she had to build that into her budget. But she was willing to do it so her son could have safe visitation with his father.
He was trying to still fight it. He was like, when am I going to see my son? You know, the judge was like, there's nothing you can do. You know, courts are shut down, you know, since the pandemic.
When Raleigh shut down with the pandemic, as Olivia says, the court didn't order any in-person visitation. Olivia still offered to facilitate video visits for Michael, which the court agreed to. But Michael didn't follow up on arranging any visits with their son. Instead, 2 months after the order for video visits was issued, he filed his own domestic violence restraining order against Olivia. He was asking for the court to take Malik away from his mom, to prevent Malik from seeing his mom until the hearing, and to order that Malik only have supervised visits with his mom. Given Michael's prior abuse towards Olivia, the bogus allegations he made against her, and the extreme demand he made to remove Malik from his mom, it was clear that this request was retaliatory and not at all focused on his son's well-being. In order to respond to this bogus DVRO request, Olivia had to revisit the years of abuse she went through and go back to court to fight for custody of their son. But I could tell that this time around, Olivia felt empowered. She was more than ready to tackle his baseless allegations, and I could tell that she knew she could keep herself and her family safe. When we appeared in court for the hearing, Michael was nowhere to be found, and the judge did not hear the case. This was a victory for Olivia, for her family, and it was our hope that Olivia could be empowered to continue to move forward with her life.
Since I was still dealing with the family courts, I said, Patricia, can we file for divorce? And she's like, yeah, right now would be the perfect time to do it. So that's when we find, I go, I'm ready. I can't get nothing out of this man. I can't get child support, spousal support, nothing, because he's on an SSI. I just want to be able to where I can walk, I can drive or walk around to where I don't feel like if I go somewhere, he's going to be there. The life I want for Malik and me can finally happen now that we are safe. We don't have to be scared in our own hometown anymore. We can look forward to the future now. He can grow into a strong, kind young man, and I can continue to heal without no kind of fear. I am so thankful for the legal aid that I got from Open Door Legal, and also to allowing us to be safe as a family now.
It never gets old for me getting to watch the incredible work that our team does and seeing what it enables to happen. Watching Malik cuddle with his dog on the couch at the end of that video is such a picture of safety to me. And I'm really proud to be part of a movement of people who are committed to making places and homes safe for families like Olivia and Malik's. Now, I want you all to check your phones. You should have just gotten a text message from us. Click on the link in the text and follow the blue button that says Donate Now.
This ask is sort of an ODL signature move. It's the 100% participation ask. Teamwork is one of our core values, and we know that to keep 125 families safe, we're going to have to work together. So we are asking every person right now that's watching tonight to kick our evening off by giving $15. If everyone can give $15 right now, we will have raised enough to support one family like Olivia and Malik's and keep them safe in San Francisco.
Yeah, and it's really not an exaggeration to say that a case can change the trajectory of a family's year or even their entire life. And your support tonight, no matter how big or small, is so appreciated. You can fill out the information to give via the link that we just texted you, and you can pay by credit card, Venmo, or PayPal. It's kind of like shopping online. Shopping for justice.
So Laura,
What?
I just wanted to ask, what's your favorite part of the video?
Oh. Well, Patricia, who you saw during the video, is one of my personal heroes, and not just because she does all this work while raising 2 amazing kids. Patricia's actually been with ODL for 3 years, and she brings so much passion and wisdom to the work that she does. Only, don't call her Patty. I learned that the hard way.
Ooh. Oh, but do invite Patricia to a potluck. We do count on her to bring our #1 crowd pleaser dish, Chicken McNuggets. Speaking of #1 and nuggets, our founder and executive director, Adrian Tirtonati, met co-founder and director of legal services, Virginia Taylor, in law school. They met in a class called Rebellious Lawyering, taught by Professor Bill Ong Hing. Professor Hing still connects us with up-and-coming law students and lawyers too, and we're really thankful for the incredible network of people devoted to pursuing justice here in SF. We should check where we are in terms of giving.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we've already hit our goal and wow, then some. We're at about $27,000. Holy cow. That is far beyond where we even thought we might be tonight. I am so thankful and especially want to shout out Kathy Chow for your donation, R.M. Wilson, and Eric Wong. Thank you all so much for getting into the spirit of giving with us.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us and making this happen. And don't forget that if you would rather pledge tonight and fulfill the pledge later, you can text your name plus ODL plus the amount to 415-612-3306.
Yeah. Now, our next video is the story of a woman named Medela and her daughter, Sarah. One of the coolest things about this story is that there's actually a social worker who lives on site in the apartment complex where Medela and Sarah live also. And so he goes around kind of knocking on doors, checking in with residents to see what they're up to, proactively asking if they have any problems that they need help with. And that social worker is actually how Medela got referred to us here at Open Door Legal.
Yes, actually the majority of our clients come to us by word of mouth, either from someone in their community who knew about us, another nonprofit, or just like in this case, a social worker. Medela's story reminds us that community isn't simply nice to have, it's a necessity in the fight for safe families. Let's hear from Medela and Sarah.
My dream was to become a doctor or becoming a nurse. My dream never come true. In Mexico, never come true to becoming at least a nurse, assistant nurse. But when I come in here to San Francisco, California, I learned over the years with my daughter, with my husband to take care. I learned from IHSS to take care. But I feel better because at least I got my dream a little bit come true. My dream becoming a nursing assistant. At the beginning, Sarah born with all the problems she had. Like she born with 2 holes behind the heart. She born with lung disease. And she born with severely Down syndrome, mental retardation. And she was in the hospital the first 3 months of her life. She started walking when she started 10 years old. Later, 2015, she got a brain stroke, making her half her body paralyzed. Right now, she's doing physical therapy, and they trying to making her to walk again. And right now, it's 31 years old, my daughter, and she requested now somebody to sign over of her, take these sessions and sign it over because she cannot do it by her own. But my social worker from the complex, he talked to me about legal aid.
So when they got referred to us, they weren't even asking for a conservatorship, right? They were asking for a different legal issue. So they didn't even know what exactly issue they needed help with. And even if they did, without Open Door Legal, the chances of getting help are very low. So it's estimated that in California, there's about 800 legal aid attorneys to serve roughly 4 million eligible people. And with a provider ratio like that, you can see how it would have been very difficult for someone like Medela, who doesn't speak English, with a daughter like Sarah, who can't physically go to offices, who doesn't understand their legal issue, to actually be able to seek out and get legal help.
My name is Gwen Wu. I am the lead elder law attorney at Open Door Legal. I think that the legal system is very convoluted. The legal processes are opaque and people don't even know where to begin. Just having someone there to walk them through things, to explain things about the legal process kind of levels the playing field, even though, you know, we're far from the law reflecting what we want in society.
Confusing to go to the court because you don't know what to start or what to say, and you need some help. You need somebody to help you to say what you had to say. Nobody told me about this. I start to learn the all be held from legal aid.
I think the conservatorship has provided a way for Medela to care for Sarah in every aspect of her life.
With that paper, I can do these sessions. Mostly they're required for medical, hospitals, nurses, doctors, medical. They ask me if I have a legal rights about, it's my daughter, but still, she needs a legal rights.
Because Sarah is an adult, technically, she needs to be signing paperwork just to live here, or let's say to get medical consent. But since after her stroke, she's not able to physically hold a pen, she can't cognitively understand the implications of signing papers. Right now, Medela is now able to do it on her behalf, and she has the legal authority to be able to do that.
Gwen is a nice lawyer. She helped me a lot that I do really need a lot.
If you see Medela, you can see that she loves Sarah so much. Every time I talk to her, she's talking about how Sarah is so happy and she's my baby, and she just loves her. And even at court, the judge was talking about how he feels very inspired that he could just tell she loves Sarah so much. But I think the conservatorship process has given her the legal authority to act on Sarah's behalf. So holistically, she can love Sarah and take care of her in all the ways that she wants.
I feel a nice relief that somebody helped me to follow my papers and everything in order, and give me advices and recommended me to the legal aid.
That was a deeply moving story about the power of a mother's love and the necessity of community. It's very representative of the kind of work we do here at ODL. No other nonprofit in San Francisco does these kinds of conservatorships for free. A private lawyer would have charged Medela something like $400 an hour, plus a retainer, which usually runs around $10,000 or more. For someone who works at minimum wage, that would be about a third of their annual salary.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. And when clients walk through our doors, they've often run into complications that they're really overwhelmed by, and they don't necessarily know how to address the issue that they have. As Gwen mentioned in the video, when Medela came to ODL, she didn't even know that she needed a conservatorship for her daughter. She just knew that she was afraid she might lose her home if she didn't do what her landlord asked, which was to have Sarah sign a legal document that she wasn't capable of signing herself. Gwen helped Medela figure out exactly what steps to take to feel safe again. And that's what we do. We listen to people's life problems, and then we work on a legal solution that will bring them back to safety. Now, conservatorships have gotten a lot of press in the last year, particularly one for a very popular singer. But conservatorships are typically supportive and life-saving protection for many adults who do not have the capacity to care for themselves, and for loved ones to be able to provide them with adequate health care and housing. It's just an essential piece of care. You should have gotten a text just now. Thanks to the generous donor that we mentioned earlier, every gift of $2,000 or above is going to be matched. $2,000 helps ODL prevent one family from losing their home. So right now, we are going to try to help 50 families remain safe, together, and free from harm. Let's try to raise $100,000.
We can do it. Also, let's not forget that we have an auction going on as well. You can use the link we sent to explore it, or on the left-hand side of your screen, there's a little box that says bidding that will take you directly to the auction site. Our generous donors have offered experiences like a week in Napa at a really beautiful house, a week in Santa Barbara overlooking the ocean, wine tastings, and even a ropes course pass for here in McLaren Park in Excelsior. Laura, should we do a trust fall? Oh, no, okay, no, not the time. Okay, we've been so thankful for the support we've received from donors and community members like Merchant Roots, Delphina, Larkmead Winery, and others. And, at the same time as some folks are feeling safe and open to travel and interacting with the outside world again, I'm especially mindful of the fact that the pandemic is still going on. And it has affected and continues to affect our clients in really long-lasting ways. Early on during shelter in place, our clients generally didn't have the option to work from home. They work in restaurants and hospitals, nursing homes, and retail shops. Many of our clients, like Medela, live in multi-generational homes, apartments where living rooms have been turned into bedrooms and no one even has a whole bedroom to themselves to isolate for 10 days if they got sick. COVID spread has affected so many permanently as well, which you might remember from our video last year about Kishima, whose partner Maurice died of COVID-19.
Yeah, and while it's true that we do have more tools to fight COVID than we did 2 years ago, the pandemic is still causing a lot of problems for our clients. The eviction moratorium that was developed to protect them and keep them safely housed, it expired earlier this year. And a lot of other resources that were developed to help lower-income families during the pandemic aren't available anymore.
It's true, and Bayview, the neighborhood where we first opened in 2013, was one of the areas hardest hit by COVID-19 in all of San Francisco. As of last December, the Bayview saw around 13,000 people per 100,000 residents impacted by COVID-19. We are thrilled, however, by a good recent development in Bayview. Years ago, we were able to open an office space that had formerly been a market, and since then we hadn't been able to get the sign out front updated, so even though we had our logo on the glass door, it still said market in really big letters above the door. Just this year, some funding came through that allowed us to put up a proper open door legal sign.
It looks great, and I'm really hoping it will stop people from coming in anymore and asking us for chicken. Bayview is one of my favorite offices to work out of, though. We have this really beautiful backyard with lemon trees and jasmine, and John Taylor, our co-founder, Virginia's father, often comes by to prune and garden it. It's like a little oasis back there. There's an amazing Mexican restaurant next door. And one time a few weeks ago when I was leaving the office for the day, there was a whole second line just playing music outside of a corner store. It wasn't for a funeral or even event. They were just playing, and it made everyone that walked by feel like we were in a parade.
Yes, I love working out of the Excelsior office because there's such a wide range of incredible and affordable food options. I am tempted every day to walk over to Good Orchard Bakery and order every single hagao and mantou they make. Or I'll go get some pupusas or an Italian sandwich the size of my face. Also, one time I walked by a home with multiple handmade posters on the door, presumably made by a child, that said, "Welcome to the House of Doom," with fire drawings all over it. It is a treat.
I love fire. Let's
Yep.
check back in on the auction while we're speaking of it tonight. Personally, I think that I would go for the Larkmead package. The grounds at the winery are absolutely beautiful, and the wine itself is not too shabby. It also has an incredible connection to Coit Tower here in San Francisco that they'll tell you about if you go and visit. The owners set aside a certain number of wine tastings and bottles of wine every year for local nonprofits, and we were fortunate enough to get a few of those from them to offer our donors this year.
I really would love to cover my entire home with pillows and blankets if I could. My dream really is to just live in a soft room. So I do think a handmade quilt made by our senior frontline attorney, Camille, would be super cozy. Also, rock climbing is one of my favorite fitness activities because it's a mix of puzzle solving and building strength and flexibility all in one. Oh, speaking of my dreams, we have a real chance to meet the needs of our neighbors and see to it that no family in San Francisco has to live without safety. We're so excited to partner with you to make this vision a reality. Ooh, we should look at the totalizer. Laura!
What?
We have reached our goal and then some. You have all given over $100,000.
Gosh, this is amazing. You all are really blowing us away with your generosity tonight. Thank you so much for your support. And to our incredibly generous donor who's offering a match, I want to thank you especially to Chi-Ning Chen, Jeffrey Balin, and Liz Alaman Moore. Thank you so much.
We have one more video for you tonight, and if you're anything like me, you will want to have some tissue ready. This is the story of Veronica, who fled gang violence in El Salvador on foot to come to America.
One of the things that I didn't realize about legal aid before coming to ODL is that it's often a slog, combining persistence and paperwork. Legal aid can sometimes be a hard concept to share about with others because a lot of us, myself included before coming to this job, have trouble imagining a scenario where we would really need a lawyer but couldn't afford one. And yet, it is so necessary to be able to talk about this. Persistence and paperwork were exactly what kept Veronica safe when she needed help the most.
Definitely. It's also a very good reminder that 20% of our clients speak a language other than English as their primary language. Veronica's video is in Spanish with subtitles throughout, and we hope that listening to her will help all of us remember how hard she and others have to work just to be heard. Let's hear her story now.
Pues es un país muy bonito, hay muchos pueblitos, artesanías típicas, playas, pero pues es bonito y a la vez malo por muchas cosas. Pues yo me fui a vivir como nomás mi mamá se vino para acá, me fui a vivir con mi tía.
¿Qué edad tenías?
Como 5 años. 5 años y desde ahí que él me empezó a pegar, me golpeaba por cualquier cosita, pues uno chiquito, niño, pues no sabe lo que hace, pero igual me golpeaba. Sucedió también que abusó de mi hermana y mi hermana siempre me defendía, pero igual ella no podía hacer nada porque si no a ella también la golpeaba.
Entonces, ¿podrías explicar qué es lo que sucedió cuando se encontraron con los oficiales de inmigración? Sé que separaron a usted y su hermana.
Ay.
Tómate tu tiempo, tómate tu tiempo.
Pues en todo el camino venía con mi hermana y mi sobrinita. Y pues ya el día que los oficiales nos levantaron ahí, pues le dieron agua a mi sobrinita, a mi hermana aparte venía pues embarazada, me había tomado mucha agua, la bebé no se le había movido en todo el camino y pues veníamos preocupados porque pues venía apenas con meses de embarazo y no se le movía la bebé. Y bueno, llegamos a ese lugar que Migración nos llevó. Y pues a mí me separaron de ella la metieron con la niña en otro cuarto y a mí pues donde están todas las mujeres. Y pues de ahí a ella pues le dieron prácticamente la entrada directamente para acá, se comunicaron con mi padrastro. Y porque venía pues embarazada y aparte pues venía con la niña. Ya ahí pues yo me quedé 5 días más ahí, encerrada. Sí, pero pues lo más duro fue separarme porque de repente cuando yo salí para poner mis huellas, porque a donde lo lleva migración a uno, y me dice mi hermana, hija, yo ya me voy. Y mi sobrinita me dice, tía, vente conmigo. ¿Pero por qué se la llevan? Le dije yo, ¿por qué si yo vengo con ella? Venimos juntas. No. Eso fue difícil porque mi sobrinita solo me dijo, bye tía, me dijo. Pues a mí me metieron ahí mismo, me encerraron.
¿Podrías describir el centro de detención donde estuviste por los 4 meses?
Ay, pues horrible, feo porque ahí igual me dio como un ataque de nervios, podría decirse, porque pues ahí entre mujeres hay peleas. Y hubo una pelea de que yo me puse bien mal y empecé a temblar y yo no podía controlar mi cuerpo hasta que me llevaron al médico. Y ahí me dieron una pastilla y ya dejaron que me calmara. De ahí me llevaron hasta en silla de ruedas, me sacaron y me llevaron de regreso ahí al cuarto. Ya, y pues feo, es un trauma, la verdad, es que yo creo que no lo voy a olvidar. Porque fue mucho tiempo y a la vez yo decía, me arrepiento de haberme venido porque en mi país he estado así y estuve por poco, iba a pedir mi deportación porque ahí llegaba el ICE que me corresponde a mí y yo siempre lo esperaba, me levantaba bien temprano y siempre lo esperaba y le decía, pues que cómo va mi proceso para la salida. Y me decía, no, espérate, hay personas aquí que tienen 2 años de estar acá y todavía no han salido. Y yo me quedaba como que, entonces, ¿cuánto tiempo voy a estar acá? Yo ya no puedo más, decía. Entonces yo un momento yo me desesperé y hasta con mi hermana yo hablé. Yo le dije, no, hija, yo me quiero ir, ¿ok? Si usted se quiere ir, yo la apoyo, hija, porque yo no quiero que siga sufriendo ahí, mi hermana. Y si usted se quiere ir, váyase, que no se preocupe, que yo aquí ya estoy, me dice, con la niña, la bebé, pues en ese entonces no sabíamos qué era, ya me dio la noticia que era niña, y ya me dice, ya viene la otra bebé, me dice, pero yo la quisiera tener aquí conmigo, me dice, pero si usted ya está desesperada y va a estar un par de años ahí, yo no quiero que usted siga encerrada, me dice.
El centro de detención y fuiste reunida con tu familia, ¿cómo es que conociste a Open Door Legal y cómo fue que te ayudaron?
Pues conocí por mi hermana. Mi hermana es la que me dijo, no, pues ya, porque a ella le dijo una señora sobre esa compañía Open Door y ella fue a ver y ya le ayudaron a ella y ella como que le comentó de mi caso a Belinda. Le comentó de mi caso y ya le dijo de que yo pues llegara, ya me platicó a mí, pues ahí le pueden ayudar, y pues así fue por mi hermana y pues Belinda me ayudó mucho porque pues tengo mi permiso de trabajo, mi social, gracias a Dios y gracias a ella de que pues se propuso a eso y pues hizo lo que pudo, solo me ayudó mucho en decir sobre mi caso, a expresarme, a dar como que pruebas y de todo eso para que yo pudiera obtener todo eso, pues tengo muchos beneficios, que es mi permiso de trabajo, que gracias a Dios pues ya hoy en día ya estoy trabajando en una tienda de Safeway. Ahí pues ya llevo como 3 días, 4 días llevo ya y pues voy empezando y era mi objetivo porque yo desde que salí de mi país yo nada más dije pues clases de inglés, aprender el inglés y trabajar, porque ya estudiar pues no, yo quiero pues ahorrar mucho porque aparte ya está mi abuelita y es como mi segunda mamá y le quiero ayudar, digo yo, y para mi futuro. para mi futuro, y por eso es que yo siempre he tenido ese objetivo de estudiar el inglés y trabajar. Y pues gracias a Dios y gracias a Belinda, que me ayudó a tener mi permiso de trabajo y mi social, yo estoy trabajando y estoy en un buen lugar.
It is heartbreaking to watch that video. Even though we know Veronica ends up getting needed help and has such a wide open future, the systems that exist are often set up against the people navigating them. For instance, much of the paperwork that needs to be submitted for immigration needs to be submitted in English. Many forms don't even exist in another language. So even if you fill everything out in Spanish, it has to be translated into English, certified, and submitted in a very specific order. And if you mess up on even just one small portion of this application, you're immediately made to start all over again.
It's really hard to imagine what it must feel like to have everything that you hold dear hanging on the line like that. And that's why I'm so thankful that Veronica was willing to open up and share her story with us. And it's a big part of why I'm really thankful to see her safe at home with her sister and those two beautiful girls. So go ahead and check under your couches, because you get a car and you get a car. Just kidding. We didn't sneak into your houses, but we did send you one last text for the evening. You should have just gotten another message. For our last ask of the night, we want to raise an additional $140,000. That represents 70 families that you can help keep safe. Just like you did with Olivia and Malik, with Medella and Sarah, with Carla and Veronica. And remember, we still have a generous donor who is matching all gifts of $2,000 and above tonight. So help us finish this night in the strongest position we can to keep families safe and keep them at home.
Laura.
What?
I think if we exceed our goal, we should make a celebration secret handshake, so that if, we or anyone else who's watching this will know and then can do it along with us, and then we'll pass each other on the street, and then we'll do it together, and then we'll, be just very cool.
I agree wholeheartedly. Let's do it. Oh, cool lasso move, Whitney. What would you say is your favorite rodeo event?
Well, thank you for asking, Laura. It is definitely the pie eating contest and a little bit of the bronco riding event.
I throw up when I do both of those.
Oh.
Come to think of it, I throw up a lot.
Oh, well, now that we're cool, let's check back on in where we're giving for the evening.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
my goodness.
Oh my God.
Okay, holy cow. We really ended up far above where we thought we would be, but I also think we have some champagne to celebrate, which is super exciting.
Oh,
thank you. Okay, so if you're at home or here with us, wherever you are watching tonight, if you would drum roll along with us while we get to the final number of the evening. We have raised over $280,000. That's incredible. Confetti in the champagne. Thank you all so much for your incredible generosity tonight. I see the number continues to go up. Now we're at about $296,000. And we can't drink this champagne. We are over the moon. Thank you all so much.
This is really, truly the best. And I just really want us to reflect on all that we've been able to do tonight. You've made justice possible for people who needed to be reminded that justice was still possible. You created access where the way was blocked. And you've participated in something bigger than any single person to help San Francisco families be safe. Thank you so much.
Cheers to that.
This is a lot.
Now you have to drink. It won't stop. It won't stop. At some point, we're going to have to cut off the confetti.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though, I'm really excited about all the amazing work that all of you have enabled us to keep doing. And just a reminder to all of you who haven't gotten to bid on an auction item yet, the auction will stay open until tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m.
Yes, thank you all so much for joining us today and making our mission of free access to legal support a reality. Thank you for helping ensure that the law belongs to all of us.
Yeah. Thank you so much for spending time with us on your Sunday evening. We are really grateful, and we hope that it was an hour well spent. We hope you can all walk away feeling part of a movement toward justice in San Francisco and beyond. Good night!